We are thinking of the millions in the path of this hurricane. The Category 4 hurricane slamming into Florida's southwest coast this afternoon. Ian making landfall right near Fort Myers, 3:05 p.m., winds of 150 miles an hour. One of the strongest September hurricanes to strike the U.S. in decades. Already tonight, catastrophic damage, storm surges that have destroyed homes and wiped away cars. Devastating winds and now the rain, up to 30 inches of rain expected in some places. Still a Category 4 hurricane as we come on tonight, winds 130 miles an hour. It is just inching across Florida now, 8 miles an hour, moving very slowly toward the very populated Orlando area. It could still be a hurricane when it gets there. Images of the eye walls that came ashore in Pine Island, Florida. AccuWeather video tonight of the fierce wind and storm surge from just before the hurricane made landfall. In Fort Myers, evidence of that storm surge just ahead of the hurricane. Cars and backyards in this neighborhood disappearing under several feet of water. In Fort Myers, that powerful winds ripping the roof off of this home the moment the eye wall hit Placida, Florida. The picture's right here, the torrential rains, the winds destroying this building. A traffic camera capturing landfall in Punta Gorda. Trees blowing and the gusting rains. Tonight, more than 1.5 million customers in the dark. And look at the sparks there flying near these lines in downtown Naples. There in Naples and in several other communities tonight, curfews now in effect. First responders finding it very difficult at this hour. The storm surge flooding this Naples fire station, in fact. The hurricane, as we said, now headed inland. Orlando now bracing, where many took cover in hotels. And we have told you here, this could be a Category 1 hurricane still when it arrives. Then, as you can see, they're tracking north, and there are states of emergency tonight in Georgia and in the Carolinas as well. Our team across the storm zone, senior meteorologist Rob Marciano, leading us off tonight from St. Petersburg, Florida.
Tonight, entire buildings swept away. Families trapped by floodwaters. Monstrous Hurricane Ian now lashing the Florida peninsula. Ian roaring on shore as a strong Category 4 with winds of 150 miles per hour. Official landfall, 3:05 p.m. Eastern Time.
Hurricane Ian now making landfall, and the wind is just ripping across Tampa Bay. Look at the action here on these waters. We've got a reverse serve where the bottom of the bay is exposed in places that probably have never seen the light of day. And at the same time, these huge swells on a normally calm bay with big white caps smashing into that jetty, which protects the airport. So you got water that's exiting and water that's piling up, and the power of the wind and water combined is relentless.
Landfall coming after hours of intense wind. As Ian came closer, our Ginger Z in Fort Myers broadcasting live in the eye wall.
David, we are in the eye wall of Hurricane Ian. That is the strongest part of the storm. You can see almost nothing behind me, but if you could, the eye is only about 5 miles to my west. Look at what's happening right here. We finally saw the wind start to shift, and we've got the surge starting to take over the pool here at our hotel. If you look a little further, there was a dock, and there's a little house at the end of that dock that has been surrounded by the water. Surge here anticipated anywhere from 12 to even 18 feet. That's the type that takes cars, takes homes. It is not just life-threatening, it is not survivable.
Then, about an hour later,
the storm is moving north of us, but we see these winds, and that little house that we were talking about all day has gone. Succumbed to the storm surge. Now the blue roof is all that's left floating in the water toward the building.
What you need to be doing right now is getting away from walls and windows. Treat this like a tornado warning.
Families trapped by the storm surge.
Then you're on the second floor already?
Yeah, we're all
6 of us in here.
Our affiliate WZVN FaceTiming with a group in Fort Myers Beach.
There's 15 feet of water now.
There's 15 feet of water and it's still coming in?
Yeah, it's still steady rise, and the waves just keep pushing it through the windowsills.
The fire department unable to reach them due to conditions, offering this advice.
They need to get as high as they can from the water and try to ride out the storm. That's the best advice I have.
AccuWeather capturing the eye wall piling water onto Pine Island as the storm moved on shore. Naples Fire Station taking on water. The storm undergoing rapid intensification ahead of landfall, increasing the hurricane-force wind field out 45 miles from the center. Hurricane hunters flying into Ian, knocked around by extreme turbulence.
There goes the beds. Holy cow.
One hurricane hunter describing it as one of the roughest flights of his career, that he'd never experienced that much lateral turbulence or seen that much lightning. One of the most powerful hurricanes to ever make landfall in Florida, now expected to cut across the state like a slow-moving buzzsaw.
This is where we're expected to be by 8 o'clock tonight. It's 3 o'clock right now, and look, the hurricane barely moves 50 miles. This is an exceptionally now slow-moving storm.
Orange County fire trucks using loudspeakers to alert residents in this mobile home park.
An evacuation of all mobile homes is recommended.
To seek shelter. The storm is coming. FEMA ready to respond as soon as it is safe.
We've pre-positioned quite a bit of equipment so we can respond immediately. Once we know what the impacts are and what the additional needs are, we're just going to continue moving that equipment in. But I think that we are positioned really well to meet those immediate needs in the first few hours.
President Biden speaking with Governor DeSantis, promising help.
We'll be there to help you clean up and rebuild, to help you get Florida get moving again. And we'll be there at every step of the way. That's my absolute commitment to the people of the state of Florida.
This is a really, really significant storm. It will be one of the storms people always remember when they think about Southwest Florida, probably be the big one that they always remember.
Just extraordinary rescue images coming in there. Rob, now dealing with the winds still. Rob, you and I were on the air this afternoon, and you were telling us this is very slow moving. It continues to inch across Florida, now headed inland. So take us through the evening hours here and through tomorrow.
Yeah, David, because of that slow movement, the wind here and rain has been consistent and slowly increasing as that storm gets a little bit closer to us and abreast of us, and that exposed bottom of the bay still stands behind me. But we've got an extreme wind warning out for a good chunk of southwest Florida because of winds of over 115 miles an hour for the next hour or two. We've already had that in Punta Gorda and Port Charlotte. So here you go. That will be going into central Florida before 8, 9 o'clock. Then we should see some slow weekend. But even with weakening overnight, we're still got that tornado watch that includes a big chunk of highly populated east coast of Florida, includes the Space Coast, it includes Orlando. This is in effect till at least 1 o'clock in the morning. Rain and wind on the northwest flank of this storm where I stand, that is very intense. It's very far reaching. And when this thing moves more north and east tonight, Tampa, Orlando gets the brunt of it. Then Jacksonville tomorrow, a strong storm surge on the east side of this. It comes off the Atlantic as a tropical storm, a strong one making another landfall in South Carolina come Friday. With that, we'll have more rain in South Carolina, but up to 15 to 30 inches of rain here in central Florida because, David, it is so slow moving. We are far from done with this hurricane.
Wow, potentially 30 inches of rain. That could bring the second wave of this emergency. Rob Marciano, our thanks to you all day long here.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.